Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Nuraeni, and in this video I want to answer the question. Question number 1 is explain the difference between segmental feeder and supramental feeder and give the example of them. And the answer is difference between the speech feeder are segmentals can be studied in isolation, whereas supramental cannot. And then every utterance may be cut up or segmented into the linear sequence of segmental feeder, each of which can be examined and analyzed supramental without considering the other segmental in the same utterance. And then supramental cannot be studied in isolation. And then every language has its own sound system, including its segmental and supramental system. And then there may be similar elements between two or more languages, but it's entirely wrong to assume that one can analyze and study a foreign language in the terms of one's own native language. For example, segmental is when we say language, then the sounding nouns or read the pound can be divided into 3 syllables. Language are divided to similar ones so that becomes il, l, e, n, g, u, e, g, e. Well, supramental is something that accompanies the pronoun, which can be in the form of sound pressure or intonation, pitch, and sound vibration that indicate certain emoticon. And then question number 2 is what is the difference between ingressive sounds and aggressive sounds? Okay, the answer is ingressive sounds are sounds by which the R stream flow inward through the mouth or nose. The three types of ingressive sound are lingual ingressive, overall ingressive, or from the tongue and the phloem, and glottalic ingressive from the glottis, and pulmonic ingressive from the lung. And then occurrence ingressive is when the vocal cords are tightly together. The larynx is pulled upward about 1 centimeter. It acts like a piston. Compressing the air is the compression air is released by releasing the oral closure while the glottal closure is maintained. The result is an adjective consonant, a speech sound similar to polyp. The diacritic indicating adjective is apostrophe, placed after a symbol. While aggressive sound in human speech, aggressive sound are sound by which the air stream increases by pushing air out through the mouth or nose. The 3 types of aggressive sound are pulmonic aggressive from the lung, glottalic aggressive from the glottis, and lingual veralis aggressive from the tongue. And question number 3 is example the process of producing speech sound as completed as possible. The answer is it starts in the brain, and it is then studied by psycholinguistic after the certain of the message and the lexicogrammatical structure in our mind. We need a representation of the sound sequence and a number of commands which will be executed by our speech organ to procedure the utterance. So we need a phonetic plan and a motor plan. After this mental operation, we come to the physical production of sound. Speech then is produced by an air stream from the lung, which goes through the trachea and the oral and nasal cavities in influences for process initiation, phonation, or nasal process in lung. In English, speech sounds are the result of pulmonic aggressive airstream, although that is not the case in all language. The phonation process occurs at the larynx. The larynx has two horizontal folds and this tissue in the passage of air. They are the vocal fold. The gap between these folds is called the glottis. The glottis can be closed, then the air can pass, or it can have a narrow opening which can make the vocal fold vibrate, producing the voice sound. And finally, it can be wide open in normal breathing, and thus the vibration of the vocal fold is reduced producing in the vocal sounds. After it has gone through the larynx and the pharynx, the air can go into the nasal or the oral cavity. The volume is the part responsible for the selection, and through the oral nasal process, we can differentiate between the nasal consonant and other sound. And finally, the articulation process in the most obvious one, it takes place in the mouth, and it is the process through which we can differentiate most speech sound. In the mouth, we can distinguish between the oral cavity, which acts as a resonator, and the articulator, which can be active or passive. Upper and lower lips, upper and lower teeth, tongue, or teeth blade for back and roof the mouth. And so speech sounds are distinguished from the one another in terms of the place where the manner how to they are articulated. And then question number 4, what is meant by stress? Explain it. Okay, I will explain the stress definition. Stress is meant the degree of force or loudness with which a syllable in pronouns so as to give its prominence. A vowel sound is the nucleus of syllable in English, so a syllable consists of a vowel with or without consonant. Three degrees of stress. They are strong, medium, and weak stress. Word stats are each word in English has its own stress pattern. They are four pillars knit together with its meaning. And then monosyllabic word is in isolation with primary stress. For example, man, in, and then Two syllables word may have the primary stress on the first syllable and weak stress on the second. For example, baby, object, credit, and then the last is the first syllable bears the weak stress and the second syllable primary stress. For example, a go, hotel, believe. And the second stress is when words arranged in a sentence they usually maintain their own stress patterns. However, only one of them gets the primary stress, that's it, the one that is most important in the mind of the speaker. This is called sentence stress. And question number 5 is please explain kinds of pitch and intonation. Okay, pitch refers to the highness and lowness to tone or voice, and intonation is how pitch varies in spoken language. These terms are often used interchangeable, and they can both of use for music and voice, and both terms discuss the highness and lowness of voice. And intonation in language is used all the time, such as the above mentioned question or statement. We also use intonation in language to communicate emotion, as when our voice will go up in intonation when we are excited and go down in intonation when we are sad or confused. We also use a rise in intonation when stressing word within sentence that we want to stand out. Overall, the rise and fall in our voice allow for our speech to be more interactive and dynamic as opposed to monotone, which can be difficult to read the emotion the person is feeling and make it more difficult to listen. And the last question, number 6, is please explain about orthographic writing. Okay, the answer is orthography is the practice or study of correct spelling according to established usage. In a broader sense, orthography can refer to the study of letters and how they are used to express the sound and from words. And perhaps the most obvious example would be Ancient hieroglyphs, but Chinese character and Japanese kanji are technically logograms as well, since they are symbols representing an entire word. This writing system is direct, but can also be very extensive, with new character being needed for every new word. For example, in order to be literate in writing Chinese, you will need to learn between 3 and 4,000 individual symbols, and more than 50,000 logograms for this language have been created. Okay, I think it's enough for me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.